Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Welcome, my dear students, to our lecture number 9 of the series of leadership theories. In this lecture, we'll study transactional as well as transformational leadership theories. I'm Dr. Ayaz Muhammad Khan. Dear student, in our lecture number 9, we would be covering transactional and which remain quite popular for a longer period of time. Let me tell you what is transactional. Actually, it works through chain of command and believe that people are motivated through reward and punishment system. But when we look at transformational leadership style of Bernard Bass, uh, it is of the opinion that people follow leaders for inspirational and having great vision. So, here is the list of theories that we'll study under the banner of transactional and transformational theories. Uh, the very first which we'll get over would be leader member exchange theory. Then we'll get over Burns and Boss transformational leadership theory. But before that, we'll also study transactional leadership theory. And last but not the least, Causes and Bossiner's participative inventory. Leader-member exchange theory was initiated in 1975. It actually deals with how leaders influence members' behavior. Leader-member exchange theory focuses on the relationship between managers and workers on how they should interact with each other to reach a successful workplace environment. The leader member exchange theory explains how this relationship can either contribute or disrupt the members of the team in their workplace. Let's see who were the proponent of this leader member exchange theory. Actually, it evolved from the vertical dyad linkage theory. In their seminal work, Fred, George, and William in 1975 introduced this unique leadership theory, which reflects the vertical dyadic interaction between leaders and members. You would be, thinking about two words, dyad and dyadic. As a matter of fact, dyadic is an objective that describes interaction between two people. Further, Green and Skendra suggested that the development of leadership member exchange goes through three stages, which are the role taking stage, the role making stage, and the role routinization stage. So, a major premise in leader member exchange theory is that leaders differentiate between followers in terms of quality of relationship formed with each follower. से मुराद ये है कि कौन कौन से ऐसे फॉलोअर हैं जिनका एटीट्यूड, जिनकी पर्सनैलिटी, जिनके काम करने का अंदाज मैच करता है विद द लीडर्स एटीट्यूड, बिहेवियर एंड पर्सनैलिटी. Similarly, this theory further says that due to time pressure, leader often establishes special relationship with small group of people which they call in group. याद रखिए, वो लोग जो लीडर्स के बिल्कुल करीब होते हैं, और हमारे पाकिस्तान में ऐसा अक्सर होता है कि उसके इर्द गिर्द के 4 5 6 लोग होते हैं जो उसके मिजाज के होते हैं, पर्सनालिटी एटीट्यूड वैसा ही होता है. सो उनको वो ज़्यादा टास्क देता है, उनको वो ज़्यादा चैलेंजिंग वर्क देता है. जबकि दूसरा ग्रुप होता है विच इज़ कॉल्ड एज आउट ग्रुप. इसमें वो लोग होते हैं जो हु आर इन द ऑर्गेनाइजेशन बट अनफॉर्चुनेटली दे हैव लेस चांसेस to switch over from out group to in group, or they keep on trying it, but if they do not get a chance, and if the people who are in the close circle of the leader uh, and they affect the policies of the organization with leader, they would be considered as successful. Actually, if leaders' attitude and personality match the people, they are brought into the group, in group, and if they do not, then they remain out group. Transactional leadership theory. This theory is very popular and commonly used theory when trying to promote great leadership qualities. Let's look at its definition that transactional leadership is a style of leadership in which leaders promote compliance by followers through both reward and punishment. But let me tell you that the concentration of reward is far more than the punishment. Through a reward and punishment system, transactional leaders are able to keep followers motivated for the short term. This type of leadership is effective in crisis and emergency situation as well as for projects that need to be carried out in specific ways. Actually, most of the time, the intervention given by the leader is actually based on reward for good work, and intervention aims at targets and standards. When they are not met, they intervene. Actually, this style is very much close to the laissez-faire type, where the leaders give authority. In this style of leadership, which is called as transactional, leaders do give authority and make the people accountable to their own selves. You can say they just change followers by giving them the authority. The history of the transactional leadership can be traced back in the mid 20th century through Max Weber, one of the leading person of modern bureaucracy. Actually, he was the one who described a rational legal leadership, later to be known as transactional leadership theory. Weber is most notably recognized for his bureaucratic leadership style, I have told you earlier. And the bureaucratic leadership style basically focuses on the idea of believing in an organization's objectives based on some rules and regulations and certain positions held in an organization. In this case, an employee is likely to report to his direct superiors if there are any questions or concerns about anything. James McGregor, Burns, and researchers like Bernard M. Bass and Jane Howell and Bruce Avelio, they all, extended the Weber's theory of transactional leadership. So this style also focuses on the idea of management processes that includes three basic concepts: organizing, controlling, and short-term planning. Another important aspect of transactional leadership focuses on motivating and giving followers direction by appealing to their own self-interest. That is what I have told you in the previous slide, where I mentioned that actually they make them accountable. And that is why I said this is very much close to the laissez-faire style of leadership. So let's talk about two major factors which can be generally attributed to this transactional leadership style. The first one is conditional reward, which is viewed as both an efficient and constructive leadership relationship between the leader and the followers. These followers get bonuses, merits, or recognitions with the organization that they are with when they meet certain goals depending on what the company is. Similarly, the second factor, transactional leader, is management by exceptions. This is this can be active or passive. Active leaders are always watching to evaluate performance of employees. Passive management only assesses their after the task has been done, and they will only let you know about problems after they occurred. If problems do not occur, they would just reward you. Dear students, contrary to transactional leadership theory, this transformational leadership theory presented by Bernard Bass and Burns in 1978 to 1985, uh, they, that was quite different. It adopted a different approach. Uh, we can say that modern leaders nowadays, like Nelson Mandela, or you can also name Imran Khan, I mean, they are the people who, first of all, give you vision and mission, which is a prerequisite for a person to become a transformational leader. Just look at the definition. Bass defined transformational leader as the leaders stimulate and inspire their followers to achieve extraordinary outcomes. And for that purpose, you are supposed to give them the vision and the mission. Because when people will come to know what they are aiming for, they would be working more willingly. Similarly, they would be asked to pay attention on the efforts rather than on the results. The leader in that leadership style adopts a coaching style where he advises whenever he feels his followers are not taking the things well. You can say in this leadership style, leaders inculcate leadership abilities among his followers. So these leaders help followers to grow and develop by responding to followers' individual needs by empowering them. A transformational leader always empowers the leaders or the subordinates and aligning the objectives and goals of the individual followers, the leaders, the group, and the larger organization. So this picture actually tells you how transformational leadership works. So as I told you earlier, that leaders gives due attention to missions and visions, and that is what he tells to individuals and organization. And this is how he develops organizational culture, individual traits, and experiences. Then there are four behaviors that leaders tend to give: inspirational, motivational, idealized attributes which he has got, then idealized behavior, then individualized consideration. The leader, it is the part of his behavior that he considers his followers one by one as per their abilities and intellectually stimulates his followers. Then what does follower do? Followers and group impacts, they increase leaders identification. Internal motivation increases with achievement orientation and goal pursuits. And collaboration, this is what followers do with one another when they have got their transformational leadership. And ultimately, what is the outcome? That organization commitment increases, so increases leaders and subordinates commitment, and ultimately they are in a position to achieve their goals. Here is a difference between transactional and transformational leadership. If you just look at transactional leadership, as I told you earlier, that it is very much close to laissez-faire as well, so responsive. But transformational leadership is proactive in its nature, thinks far ahead. Transactional leaders perform within the organizational culture. I mean, there is a culture where they established a culture of reward and punishment, but most of the time they motivate them by rewards. But in transformational leadership, they implement new ideas to change organizational culture, think out of box as well. Transactional leaders set rewards and punishment for followers to achieve goals, but in transformational leaders, they focus on followers' higher ideals and moral values to achieve goals. So they never set targets, rather, they are more concerned about the efforts the followers are putting. Similarly, in transactional leadership style, a leader motivates followers by attracting to their own self-interest. I mean, if you would perform, you would get reward. But in transformational leadership style, a leader motivates followers by encouraging them to put group interest first. I mean, you put organization's interest first and then of yours. Transactional leaders usually maintain the status quo, but transformational leader, they rather break the status quo and they are creative in nature. So this is the last part of our lecture, and we'll be discussing about Robert J. House charismatic leadership theory. Dear students, as a matter of fact, this theory aims at believing that followers make attribution of heroic or extraordinary leadership abilities when they observe certain behavior. यानी कुछ लीडर्स में कुछ ऐसी एक्स्ट्रॉर्डनरी खूबियाँ होती हैं दैट द फॉलोअर्स दे स्टार्ट falling a prey to that charisma in the personality of that leader. You can take the example of Imran Khan. I mean, he has got a charisma because he's acting as a role model. He has already done a lot of work not only in cricket but in other fields of lives like building a cancer hospital or establishing a university. So this is the sort of charisma that has made people to love him a lot. I mean, though there were many people in history, people say that Hitler was also a charismatic personality, Nelson Mandela was a charismatic personality, or Martin Luther King Jr. was also considered. But Robert J. House actually gave some of the characteristics of charismatic personality, that they got to be strong role model, highly competent, they must have high expectations, and they articulate ideas, uh, moral overtone, and arouse motivation. And this is what they have. They exhibit need of for power, strong conviction. They appear very competent, and ultimately their past tell that they have done lot of achievement, and in the future they would do the same. So, last but not the least, here is a little bit task for you. You have gone through all those leadership style, particularly transformational and transactional leadership style. I would request you to enlist at least 5 to 10 people. Not keep University of Education in mind, but you can keep the whole country in your mind, and write down a list of at least 10 transformational leaders and 10 transactional leaders. That is what you got to upload. Dear students, these are the certain links in YouTube. I mean, if you wish to get deep into that phenomena and learn more and more about those leadership theories, particularly that I taught you in this lecture. So these are the links where you can go and enjoy getting deep insight into these leadership theories. Thank you very much for watching me, and we'll meet with another lecture on leadership, and we are hopeful that we are about to end this discussion in the next 2 or 3 lectures.